Hello, this is Kelsey with Voces Digital, and this video is going to show you how to use the Voces Game Center. The Voces Game Center is located under this video game controller icon down here in the middle of the navigation bar. If we click on this icon, it'll open up to the game selection. We're going to start with these three games here, as these are a little bit different from the Voces Round Up. The first is the Voces Match. You'll notice some options here that are going to be similar to the flashcard and the story shuffle. You can start a new single-player game, a two-player game. As the teacher, you'll be able to create your own match sets as well as your own flashcard sets and story prompts. You can view the leaderboards, which will show you the global leaderboard for that chapter that you're in, and My Results, which will show you your results for your students from the last 10 days or by class and by student. You also got the instructions here and a button to click back to the game center. So let's take a look at a new single-player game. Once you click to start a game, you choose the set that you should be using. So the current chapter will use only vocabulary terms from the current chapter that you're in, and all previous chapters will be more of a review, so it'll use all of the vocabulary from the current chapter and the previous. This is also where any custom-made sets will show up, so the students will be able to choose those. You can choose to have no audio clues. You can also choose the size of the board. We'll go ahead and start game. So with the match game, you'll have a board. You click to turn one over, and then you'll click to match that with its Once you've finished with all of the matches, you'll see an image here as well as a kind of trivia question about, one of the countries in that chapter that you're studying. Once you finish, it'll show you how many attempts it'll show the student how many attempts that took for them to match all of the cards. It'll also show the incorrect matches. Click back to menu. Now we're going to go ahead and go back to the game center. We'll take the flashcard challenge. So with the flashcard challenge, you've got a lot of those same options. You have a single player game, two player, the teacher can create flashcards, the leaderboards, results, instructions, and the button to go back. So for this one, we're going to choose a new two-player game. Again, we're going to choose which set to use, how many flashcards, no audio, and then you'll have the player information. So player one will be the student that's currently logged in, and player two will be any other student in the class. They can put in their name and their user ID. You can also set a buzzer, and then you can start that game. So now the students would buzz in. So Kimberly is now going to select an answer. Now Kelsey is going to select an answer. And we see the correct answer. We move on to the next question. So again, we're going to buzz in. Kelsey's going to buzz in. And then we're going to see the correct answer. We're going to close out of that. Going back into the game center. With a single player game, you have a couple of other options. You can, again, still choose the sets, no audio. You can either do speed or perfection. Speed is going to be answering as many flashcards as possible in the shortest amount of time, and perfection is going to be where if you get one wrong, it ends that run. So, challenge, go back into the game center. Now we'll take a look at the Voces story shuffle. Again, you're going to see those same kind of options here. You'll see the single player, two player, the teacher can create prompt sets, leaderboards, results, instructions, and back to game center. This one is a little bit different because we have the story library, which we'll come back to in a moment. So that new single player game, same options here. We're going to go with 5 prompts and no audio. We'll start the game. So this is a game where the students will actually be writing a story based on the prompts. So this prompt here is my mother. So I would write a story about my mother, a couple of sentences. Again, just writing a couple of sentences. And then you click Finish Writing. You'll see the story. You'll be able to give that story a title. And then save and submit. The story will then go to the teacher, and once the teacher approves it, we'll see it in the story library. So if I go into the story library, I can choose some options here. I can read stories just from my classmate, only see stories that I haven't read, and look at stories from specific chapters. So let's go ahead and search that library. And we do see there's one story here. You can read that story, take a look at it, check that we've read it, and go back to the menu. So the last game we'll take a look at is the Voces Round Up. The Voces Round Up is a one-player game that happens throughout the use of Voces. So you'll notice that the Game Center icon is lit up green. This will happen randomly as the students are using Voces, and if they click into the Game Center, they'll see that the Roundup is lit up green as well. Click on the Roundup, it's going to give me
60.
an audio clue. I'll choose the best answer and go back to the menu. So while they do have the chance to play once the icon is lit up green, they can also go in and go into the PLV net, which will let them identify PLVs here to earn points. A PLV is a phrase, letter, or vocabulary term. And when we're looking at the menu, the students can actually see the bag of PLVs, which shows the terms they collected from each chapter. It will also show chapters, so we can see where we are versus all students that use this, as well as with my classmates. We do have the story and instructions here and the games, back to the Game Center button. So those are the games that we have in Voces that are just meant to make it a little more fun, maybe gamify the vocabulary and grammar and help the students want to learn a little bit more. Now, some teachers are concerned that the students will be playing the games when they should be working on something else. So if the activity that they're working on is set to not allow them to leave the page, so the prevent leaving option when you are creating the assignment, then the Game Center won't show up by default. Now, if you want to turn the Game Center off, you can do that from your settings. So you'll click on the Teachers panel, and then the gear icon for settings, and then you'll turn that Game Center off. The students will have to log out and log back in for that change to show. So you may want to do this at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, before they log in. So that is the Voces Game Center. As always, if you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to contact us through any of the great options down here underneath the question mark icon.